Ah yeah, you might want to put on some sunglasses so you don't get blinded by this thing's awesomeness. It's a Super Mario Bros. Skateboard. So cool. You see Mario and Luigi skateboarding on there? This Koopa looks like it's just an utter dread of this whole scenario. And I don't know what this is. It's like some kind of cross between a Goomba and a super mushroom. The piranha plants are weird looking too, a lot more threatening than usual. I feel like this was a good way to start this video off. I'm all energized now and ready to go through some more Marios, so let's get back to unboxing some more bins. If you've been keeping up with my videos, then you'll probably know that this next item is a big deal to me. It's the Dr. Mario board game. But the one that I've been praising in previous videos had a different box, and was actually made by Waddington's, the company that made that Super Mario Bros. Board game. But this one is from Tiger Electronics. So my educated guess is that the other one was a European version, and this is a North American version. Seeing that the other Dr. Mario board game made it onto my top 10 favorite collectibles list, it's pretty safe to say this one ranks pretty high too. I'm a big fan of Dr. Mario, a big fan of Mario toys and games, and a big fan of vintage stuff. It's the perfect mix. First up is this Mario and Yoshi Music Center, a sing-along karaoke machine. Up top we have Mario holding a removable microphone. On the right is the speaker on Yoshi's nose. And in the middle is the keyboard, along with lots of musical options like preset beats and a tempo control. On the back is the battery compartment. I put some fresh batteries in it so I could experience this thing firsthand and share it with all of you, but it ended up being all finicky and uncooperative, especially the volume, which was acting weird. So yeah, it's not fully functional, but that's fine with me. I've wanted this since I was a kid, so I'm happy. Here's another bubblegum wrapper, this time for Super Mario Bros. Bubblettes, I believe from Mexico. And then yet another bubblegum wrapper, this time for Super Mario Bros. Bubblegum. It says it originally came with Super Mario Bros. Stickers. On here it says that it was made in Spain, but it looks like there's German text, so I'm not sure exactly what country this would have been originally released in. And then the last bubblegum wrapper is for Super Mario Dunkin' Bubblegum. This one says it was made in Australia, but again seems to have a non-corresponding language on it. And to complicate things further, it says Nintendo of America here, so I really don't know what country this one was originally sold in. Now for one of my favorite items I got in this collection, this Mario and Yoshi battery-operated bump and go action toy. So this thing has some history behind it, involving different sizes, different companies, different regions, and even different bootlegs. This one is an official one, made in the largest scale and distributed in the United States by Prima Merchandise. Despite being the North American version though, they still ended up making references on the package to Super Mario Bros. 4 in favor of the typical Super Mario world, so that's kind of unusual. Made by Monty, dated 1993, and while we're looking back here, I saw this and thought it was funny. It says, Yoshi lights the way for Mario with his flashing eyes and spins his tail with glee against all competitors. I just found that wording humorous. Speaking of Yoshi's flashing eyes, look at that. It's like he's possessed or something. Other features of the toy are shown on the top, including that spinning tail, the super bump and go action, which forces him to turn when he bumps into things, and of course the flashing eyes. Lastly, it also plays the Super Mario World melody. Now here's a really fantastic piece. It's this Super Mario World board game toy sort of thing. It's like a marble maze game. So you take this joystick and move it around to control how level the playing field is, and then the objective is to get this ball bearing to move around at different spots. Each of these colored panels is actually interchangeable, so you can make like a huge number of course layouts. This is made by APOC, and they're still making Mario stuff to this day. I have a bunch of their new stuff, but every time I'd see their older items like this in other people's collections, I'd get really jealous, so I'm really stoked to finally have one of these in my collection. And of course, having it in the box just makes it all the better to me. In the introductory part of this whole series, I briefly mentioned how much I wanted this next item. It's this lunchbox shaped like Mario's head. I don't even remember seeing one of these outside of this collection, so I'm really happy to have it. On the bottom, we can see that it's made by Ben Rose, and then it's a little hard to see under the marker here, but it says made in Brazil. On the top, it's got this latch. Open that up, and inside we find this water bottle. So here's that. It says Super Mario Brothers, and then we see a bunch of artwork from Super Mario Bros. 3, including Frog Mario. And then oddly enough, we also get this enemy from Super Mario Land. There's the Ben Rose logo again. Then it has this kind of lid where when you rotate it, it makes the straw protrude out like this. Then you just twist it and it goes back in. The cap can also screw off, and that's how you can fill it up. It's kind of funny how when you put this in the lunchbox, it takes up virtually all the space inside. So I guess this is just how you'd bring it home, but to take it to school or wherever, you're pretty much going to have to carry the two of them separately. Oh, and then this. This is one of those items that when I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, this collection's got some stuff that I want in it. This is a full box of Series 2 of the Nintendo Game Packs cards. I've had a full box and a bunch of the individual cards from Series 1, but I've never had anything from Series 2. There's actually a pack in here that you can just reach in and grab without having to open the box. Because this has been taped shut and I don't really want to deal with that right now. But anyways, here's what the pack looks like. Feels good just holding this, it's like about time. So the pack is blue. That's funny because in Series 1 the pack was yellow, and now the box here is yellow, but the pack is blue. So it's like the reversed, yellow box, blue pack. And then here's the back. Next is a Super Mario Bros. Mini pinball game. It might not look like much at first, but in reality this was offered for a time as a premium inside boxes of the Nintendo Cereal System cereal, as seen advertised here on the front of the box, and nowadays can be a challenging item to find. Food-related collectibles are one of my focuses, so getting one sealed with its instructions and everything from all the way back in 1989 is a real joy. And then my favorite of all the cereal boxes I've been showing, this Dunkin' Donuts cereal one. I actually got a whole box of these packs now, which is one of my favorite things that I'm showing today. And then a mask I didn't have, this Yoshi one, so I'm super happy to have it now. This Dr. Mario poncho. This inflatable tennis set. I cannot express how amazing this is, just look at it. Something among my favorites in this bin, this Japanese Mario tennis racket with carry cover. Up next are empty cans of soda in several flavors. A Kraft Super Mario Brothers like macaroni and cheese box, or pasta and cheese as they call it on this one. Yes, and then one of the items I was the most excited for, this Doritos bag with a Mario promotion on it. Ah, yeah. It's amazing that someone actually saved this thing. It's just as amazing that it ended up in my hands. And then here's an equally cool Ruffles bag. It's from the same promotion. I just love this. It's so majestic. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be this impressed with an old chip bag, but I am. And here's something that goes along with that promotion that you just don't expect to see. It's this little pad that would go on the countertop at the front of a store that was selling the products that were included in this promotion. So this bottom portion is the part that would face the customer. It just advertises the promotion in general. But then this part is what would face the cashier, and it's telling them how to check and validate a winning Nintendo Scratch 3 game card. So I'm guessing these were like in the chip bags and stuff. I just gotta say, this is the kind of thing that's right up my alley, so I'm glad it ended up in my collection.